Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Good afternoon, everyone. All right. Let me acknowledge our Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Minister with our portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, the Honorable Matthew Samuda. Let me acknowledge as well Permanent Secretary Arlene Williams and all the members and staff of the various ministries who are here this afternoon. Member of Parliament for St. Andrews Southeastern, Mr. Julian Robinson, and I do have my councillor here with me this afternoon, Gary Gordon, and I understand Julian has his own councillor here as well. Let me acknowledge the residents of St. Andrew Eastern. Ladies and gentlemen all, good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. It is always good to welcome persons to the great constituency of St. Andrew Eastern, and even better to do so on occasions that showcase this administration's firm commitment to infrastructure development. In this case, we're looking at pipeline infrastructure, water and sewage, which is so important given the growth that we are witnessing in St. Andrew Eastern. I have to say, Prime Minister, when I started out as Member of Parliament in 2016, I could count on one hand the number of high-rise buildings in St. Andrew Eastern, and I would have a lot of fingers left over. Now, I have to use both hands, my toes, and I have to reach for an Excel spreadsheet in order to be able to tally the number of high-rise buildings in St. Andrew Eastern. Today marks an important step forward, not just for the community of Wellington Avenue, Munroe Road, but for people who call St. Andrew Eastern and the neighboring constituency of St. Andrew Southeastern home. We're here to mark the start of a 1.2 billion investment being undertaken by the National Water Commission to modernize both sewage and potable water systems. This is not the first one that has happened in this constituency. There have been many, but I believe this is the first of that $10 billion, Minister Samuda, the second one of that very easy yes for the 10 billion, awesome, and we're having some work here in St. Andrew Eastern. So this, of course, is a dual initiative that will directly benefit residents along Old Hope Road, Retreat Avenue, Seymour Avenue, New Kingston, Seaview Avenue, Mona Road, Wellington Avenue, and Munroe Road. This effort, ladies and gentlemen, goes beyond infrastructure. It supports urban development, enhances customer service, and addresses long-standing issues tied to aging systems and on-site disposal. The Munroe Road to Seaview Avenue pipeline project represents more than the installation of pipes. It represents development, partnership, and a shared commitment to improving lives. We've heard it before, but the truth remains: water is life, and reliable access to water is a fundamental human need. I know, because I'm also a resident of St. Andrew Eastern, and for a while now, many in the constituency would be struggling, and I see my constituents nodding. They'd love to see way more reliable water to their homes. So we're moving in that direction. So as we move from planning to implementation, I encourage all involved to continue engaging with residents. Be sure to keep us all informed and work assiduously to minimize disruption wherever possible. And I know that in the past, NWA, the contractors have been very good meeting with residents in the communities, in giving them information, timelines, in ensuring that a water truck passes by and does some, sprinkling of the ground to reduce the dust nuisance. So we've worked together several times already with NWC to ensure that these projects happen, but also that while they're happening, that the residents as well feel good about it. To the residents in all the areas, as the Minister of Finance and the Public Service, I remain committed to securing the kinds of investments and developments that will uplift all across all constituencies. So let us move forward with confidence and optimism, knowing that the work we do today lays the foundation for a stronger, more resilient Jamaica. Thank you, and may this project be a success from start to finish. Thank you so much.